It was supposed to be the perfect vacation. The Marelis family had flown to Portugal for a quiet, sunny getaway. Something simple to reconnect after a long year of work, studies, and everyday noise. They chose a secluded rental farmhouse just outside the small coastal village of São Velho, far from tourists and crowded beaches. The place was peaceful, too peaceful. 17-year-old Simon, the oldest child, had just graduated and was in that restless stage between youth and adulthood. He wasn't thrilled about spending 2 weeks without internet, surrounded by nature and silence, but he kept his frustration quiet. On their first day, as the rest of the family unpacked, Simon wandered off. The woods around the property were dense but strangely inviting. About 1 kilometre from the house, hidden among pine trees and fog, Simon found something unusual. A rusted gate standing half open, leading into what looked like an abandoned cemetery. Cracked stone paths, leaning tombstones, and an eerie stillness filled the space. In the centre stood a massive oak tree with no leaves, its bark blackened like it had been burned, yet the grass around it was green. Simon lingered only a few minutes before walking back, saying nothing to his parents. That night, Simon had trouble sleeping. He tossed and turned, muttering things in his sleep, none of which made sense. His younger sister, Nora, later said he was speaking a different language. "I think it was Portuguese," she whispered, "but not like what we heard in town. Older, deeper." By the second night, Simon was different. Quiet, pale, his eyes always drawn to the window. When asked if he was okay, he simply replied, "I'm listening." The third night was when it happened. At 2:13 a.m, Simon's bedroom door creaked open. No one saw him leave. No footsteps, no sounds. But when his mother checked his room shortly after 3 a.m, his bed was made, his shoes gone, and the window wide open. The family searched the property. The police were called. It wasn't until dawn that they found him. Simon's body was discovered lying peacefully on the grass of the old cemetery. His eyes were open, but he wasn't breathing. There were no injuries, no bruises, no blood, just a strange mark on his ankle. A small circular imprint like a stamp burned faintly into his skin. The autopsy found nothing conclusive. No heart failure, no trauma, no poisons, just nothing. It was as if he had simply stopped being alive. The authorities ruled it a natural death, but the family knew better. Days later, after returning home, Simon's mother received a strange envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was Simon's travel journal, the one he always carried, now damp and partly burned. Most of the pages were unreadable, but one entry stood out, dated the night before he died. "They whisper to me now, from under the dirt. I don't understand them all the time, but they understand me. They say I was chosen. I opened the gate. I didn't mean to." Beneath the writing was a crude sketch, a tree with dark, curling roots descending into a black void, and one word beneath it, in all caps, Capella do Silêncio, Chapel of Silence. The family had never heard of such a place. They searched for it online. They asked locals in the village. No one knew it, or no one admitted to knowing. Months later, a paranormal investigator named Dario Costa visited the area. He'd heard of Simon's story and was drawn to the mystery. According to his notes, the land around the cemetery had long been feared by villagers. An old tale spoke of a hidden chapel buried beneath the earth, a place where monks once tried to commune with the silent dead. Legend claimed the chapel was sealed off after several initiates went missing during a ritual. The only known entrance was said to be under the dead oak tree. Dario went to the cemetery one night and left a recorder there. What he captured was chilling. Between 2 a.m. and 2:15 a.m., there were no footsteps, no animals, no wind, but a single sound repeated itself 6 times. A deep breath, then a whisper in English, "Come closer," and then silence. Simon's story has no ending, no real explanation. The cemetery has since been fenced off, the farmhouse abandoned. His family never returned to Portugal. But every year, on the anniversary of his death, locals say they hear someone walking in the woods, barefoot. And if you're awake at 2:13 a.m, near the edge of the old forest, you might hear a voice calling softly from under the ground. Not yelling, not crying, just breathing, waiting,